Hello guys, good evening. Today is Friday and it is the end of trading for the week. I hope you guys had a profitable week. I hope you're doing well. So this video is gonna be a short video, a brief video kinda, to give you guys an update about all the analysis I've been posting throughout, let me say, last week, but mostly this week, since this week open has started on Sunday night. And I talked about gold, NASDAQ, GBP, the dollar index, and EURUSD. The videos are posted in all of my platforms, my Facebook, TikTok, and my YouTube. So for you to be able to be getting all my videos and updates, you need to follow me, subscribe, and make sure you put your notification on so that you can get notified whenever I make a post. So July 19 was when it started. So for those that are new to discovering me, my name is Domitrons and I'm the founder of Domitrons. I have been predicting the market since 2021, mostly on my YouTube. That is where all my videos is. I have done a lot of analysis that played out very well, starting with NASDAQ, gold, the dollar index, Bitcoin, and some stock market. All right, most of them are things that I would say that I broke a record for myself. And so yeah, NASDAQ, I did NASDAQ 2022. Also, I think I've deleted all the drawings from my chat, but yeah. You can go to my, all right, it's still here. Yeah, the chart is still here. This is it. So I predicted the bullish move on NASDAQ in the year 2023, and imagine if we were we entered the market since 2023, it has entered a position trade, right? So yeah, this was a nice analysis that I did. So I have done a lot of analysis, played out. You can actually see the target was the daily range high. So there are a lot including the stock market, and some that is on my Telegram channel, which is private for some people. Is for those that were in the mentorship. So yeah, so those ones are not on YouTube or any social media, but yeah, some stock market played out, Tesla and so on. So we'll be looking at NASDAQ. I already explained NASDAQ, and you actually see it returned back to the fair value gap that I marked out, and like I said, not expecting it to go above this high. So we impulsively traded lower. We took this low, right? So what is responsible for that? The fair value gap. Price retraced back into it, and if you watched the NASDAQ video, I talked about it retracing back on Tuesday. So we saw it that happening on Tuesday, retraced back on Tuesday, and then Wednesday pushed the price lower. So we are having Tuesday as the high of the week and Friday has the high of the week. Drawn to liquidity is this low. All right, we took this low, so we'll be drawn to this low, which is previous month's low. That is where we have liquidity. So now, once August open, I did a session with the private people yesterday about how we're gonna dive into the Nigerian stock market, how we're gonna invest into it, and the things to look out, right? Including the increase of US oil. Right, US oil, I talked about it going higher since last year. If you have not watched that video on my YouTube channel, you can go to YouTube and you will see that I predicted it to hit $100 last year, and it did that this year, exactly from the point that I mentioned that is gonna buy from. And I am still expecting higher pricing on the US oil to target our long-term daily range high. So like I've explained in every video, this when it comes to period analysis, this high was taken, and this fair value gap was the reason for that. is at a discount pricing. This big body black candle is the order block, and we have pull liquidities resting on this high. So I will not tell you what I tell them. So your month focus should be the NASDAQ, and I also explained NASDAQ to them because yeah, expecting it to continue going lower, just like I explained. Fill out this inefficiency right here. So so now once the month of August open, we'll be looking on how the first week trades. So once the first week trades, we are expecting it. We are now having a new daily range, right? This high and this low formed. So next week we'll see how it's gonna trade if it returns back to this fair value gap, and then next month we will know how we're gonna have a directional bias of next month, right? So this month is almost closing, right? So once next month open, we'll know what next month is gonna do, and we're looking forward to see if it returns back to the opening price, because this opening price is where I have my maximum interest, in line with what I'm seeing on US oil and the dollar index. Euro USD sold off, and on my YouTube, Facebook, almost everywhere, my Facebook, YouTube, I talked about it's setting for this fair value gap. Sorry, for this order block on the forward time frame. You can actually see that it's used Wednesday high, has Tuesday high, has liquidity. So Wednesday opened, it did a sweep on, that was Thursday, right, it's still Wednesday. It did a sweep on previous day's high, right? Traded into the fair value gap, and order block that was above previous day's high. Previous day's high has a liquidity, so it makes absolute sense. Retrace, take that liquidity and trade into the forward order block that I marked out, and then it dropped. Friday is closing. Same goes for the dollar index. The dollar index used this order block to buy, because Monday, Tuesday has given us a directional bias that it wants to go higher, starting from Monday, violating this supply zone. Alright, so Monday broke a structure, Tuesday did the same, Wednesday returned to Tuesday's order, and then push the price higher to be drawn to previous week high. We have the daily buy stop, which is our draw to liquidity. Now gold did something interesting. It actually went for the previous week high that I made mention, right? So I was still expecting it to go higher for that high that I made mention of, this high before selling, right? Because that is where I have my liquidity. But it happens to be, it just went only for the previous week high, took the liquidity, and then retraced backwards. So once next week open, our eyes will be this. Alright, we're going to be looking at how it's going to react from there. If it fails, then we will know that, alright, this high will stay protected, and we will look for a structural shift to start going bearish. Alright, so that means this high will remain protected. Alright, previous week high has already been taken. So Monday has the low of the week, and Wednesday has the high of the week. GBP USD. On the daily time frame, we are expecting the opening price of the year. There is a supply zone right here. It traded into premium pricing. Took this as a liquidity, which is also previous month high. Took it straight into the premium and showed a confirmation to sell, which I showed you guys, starting from here, right? Monday showed us that directional bias. So Tuesday traded into it and continued the very structure, like I said, violate this low, and you can take your profit right there, and then the week closes. That is how you swing trade. So when it comes to swing trading, you're targeting previous week high, previous week low. You are to leave the market when the market closes for the week, which is on Friday. Possibly you can leave on Thursday, right? Friday, there's no trading on Friday because Friday consolidates. So for you to enter the market, you enter the market during Tuesday and Wednesday. That is where market entry occur. You leave Monday alone for Monday to give you a directional bias. So when next week starts, we will do analysis for the next thing that we're looking at. You'll actually see this is an overall range in market. So our main focus is how the week is going to trade. So that's why we're focusing on the weekly candles. We are having a target of, I have eyes on this low, that is the draw to liquidity that we are having, as I am anticipating this to be a distribution phase downwards. Alright, you can actually see it playing around the opening price. Right. What else am I to look at? So yeah, like I said, this is gonna be a short video. It's just a summary, revision, an update on everything. And yeah, someone talked about indicators on the comment section. On the trading view, these are my list of indicators. So if you click on indicator, I use AGFX watermark. This shows my brand, like Domitrons, my name on my chart. I use Asian range by Nico 948. This shows the Asian session for us. I use it mostly on Euro and GBP. I know this one doesn't. I don't. These are when I was learning trading. I started putting out the indicator, but I don't make use of them anymore. So I use the AGFX Asian range, and then down here, London, New York session by Doubler. So these are the three indicators that I use. I don't use any other indicators. So to activate them, I click right here and I click on AGFX. So once I click on AGFX, you can actually see this appeared right here. That is a watermark. If I click on Asian range, and you see the Asian range is showing here, but you're not seeing anything here because this is the higher time frame. The Asian range is seen from the 45 minutes down to the 1 minute time frame. So you can actually do your settings, set the color. I'm using gray, so this is the color that shows the Asian range. So you can just click on your setting right here and set your preferred color. Right, you see the style, you see visibility, you see your inputs. I did not touch anything here. The only thing I touched was the style, which is on the colors. All right, and I set it as default. So yeah, that is for the Asian range. Then for the next one is London, New York, right here. So once I activate it, you can actually see two colors on my chart. You can see the blue color and this pink color. So the blue color shows that it is London session. So this is where the London session ends. So New York opened. You remember New York overlaps with the London session. So this is where New York opened at, right here, and London closes right here. Then New York closes right here. The same thing, you can go to that indicator, click on your setting and set your colors. Alright, so this is my preferred color. I can increase the thickness or reduce it. So cancel. Alright, so I reduce it so that it won't have, I have this sensitivity with my eyes. So this is my preferred color. That is why the color of my chart is gray and not white, because it's good for my eye, and my candlestick is blue and black. So yeah, I think that is it. Yeah, take care guys, see you next week.